Listen, right now, you're sitting there thinking about discipline. You're thinking about all the things you need to do, all the promises you made to yourself, all the goals sitting on that list collecting dust. And you know what? You're feeling something about it. Maybe guilt, maybe frustration, maybe that familiar wave of anxiety that comes when you think about everything you haven't done yet. Here's what I need you to understand. Those feelings, they mean nothing, absolutely nothing. Your feelings about the work don't determine whether the work gets done. Your feelings about waking up early don't determine whether you wake up early. Your feelings about going to the gym don't put your body in the gym. This is the hard truth nobody wants to tell you because it doesn't sound nice. It doesn't feel good to hear. But I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. You've been lied to your whole life. They told you to follow your passion. They told you to do what makes you happy. They told you to listen to your heart. And now look at you. You're waiting to feel motivated before you start. You're waiting to feel inspired before you take action. You're waiting to feel ready before you begin. Let me tell you something that's going to change everything if you actually listen. You're never going to feel ready. You're never going to feel like doing it. That feeling you're waiting for, it's not coming. The most successful people you see around you, the ones who have built something real, they're not special because they feel more motivated than you. They're not waking up every morning filled with joy about the grind ahead. You think the person who built $1 million business felt like working every single day? You think the athlete who won the championship felt like training when it was cold and dark at 5 in the morning? You think the person who lost 100 pounds felt like going to the gym every single time? No, they didn't feel like it. But here's the difference between them and everyone else. They did it anyway. They understood something that most people will never understand. Feelings are temporary. Feelings are weather patterns in your mind. They come and they go. One moment you feel motivated, the next moment you feel tired. One moment you feel strong, the next moment you feel weak. But discipline is permanent. Discipline is the structure you build that holds strong regardless of how you feel. Think about this. Every single day you wake up and you have a choice. You can listen to your feelings or you can listen to your commitments. Your feelings will tell you to stay in bed. Your feelings will tell you to skip the workout. Your feelings will tell you to eat that junk food. Your feelings will tell you to watch another episode instead of working on your goals. Your feelings will always choose comfort. Always. Because that's what feelings do. They're designed to protect you from discomfort. They're designed to keep you safe and comfortable and warm. But here's the problem. Everything you want in life is on the other side of discomfort. Everything. The body you want requires discomfort. The business you want requires discomfort. The relationship you want requires discomfort. The life you want requires you to do things that feel uncomfortable. So if you're always listening to your feelings, if you're always choosing comfort, you're guaranteeing that you'll never get what you want. You're guaranteeing that you'll stay exactly where you are right now. I'm not saying feelings don't matter. I'm saying they can't be in charge. Your feelings can sit in the back seat. They can come along for the ride, but they don't get to drive. Discipline drives. Commitment drives. Your vision for who you want to become drives, not your feelings about the journey. You need to separate these two things in your mind right now. There's the person you are when you feel good, and there's the person you are when you feel terrible. Most people are only productive when they feel good. And that's why most people stay average. You want to know the secret to becoming exceptional? It's simple. Become the same person regardless of how you feel. Do the same work on Monday that you do on Friday. Do the same work when you're tired that you do when you're energized. Do the same work when you're sad that you do when you're happy. That's discipline. That's what separates the people who make it from the people who don't. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's the ability to show up and do the work when you don't feel like it. Right now, I need you to think about something. Think about all the times you've quit. Think about all the times you started something and didn't finish. Think about all those January 1st resolutions that died by February. Why did you quit? Be honest with yourself. You quit because you didn't feel like continuing. You quit because it got hard. You quit because the initial excitement wore off. You quit because your feelings changed. And every time you quit because of your feelings, you taught yourself a lesson. You taught yourself that your feelings are more important than your commitments. You taught yourself that comfort is more important than growth. You taught yourself that temporary emotion is more powerful than long-term vision. That pattern has to break today, right now, this moment. You need to make a decision that your commitments matter more than your feelings. You need to decide that the promises you make to yourself are non-negotiable. When you say you're going to do something, you do it, period. Not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient, not when you're motivated. You do it because you said you would. That's integrity, that's self-respect, that's discipline. Let me tell you what happens when you start living this way. At first, it's brutal. The first week of ignoring your feelings and just doing the work anyway is going to be one of the hardest things you've ever done. Your mind is going to throw everything at you. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel like this is too hard. You're going to feel like you're not built for this. Every excuse you've ever used will come flooding back. And this is the critical moment. This is where most people break. They feel all of this resistance and they think it means something is wrong. They think it means they're not supposed to be doing this. They think it means they should quit. But what if I told you that all that resistance is actually proof that you're doing something right? What if I told you that the discomfort is the whole point? See, your brain is designed to keep you comfortable. It's designed to keep you safe. So when you start doing things that are uncomfortable, your brain panics. It sends you all these signals telling you to stop. It makes you feel tired. It makes you feel anxious. It makes you feel like something is wrong. But nothing is wrong. Everything is right. You're finally breaking the pattern. You're finally pushing past the comfort zone. You're finally becoming someone new. And here's what happens if you push through that first week. If you ignore all those feelings and you just keep showing up, something incredible starts to happen. The resistance gets weaker, not because the work gets easier, but because you get stronger. Every time you choose discipline over feelings, you're building mental muscle. Every time you do the thing you don't want to do, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're building self-trust. This is what people don't understand about discipline. They think it's about punishing yourself. They think it's about suffering. But that's not what discipline is. Discipline is love, real love. Not the fake love that tells you to do whatever feels good in the moment. Not the fake love that lets you destroy yourself with comfort and convenience. Real love, the kind of love that says I care about you too much to let you waste your life. The kind of love that says I care about your future more than your temporary feelings. The kind of love that says you deserve better than the life you're settling for. When you eat clean even though you want junk food, that's love. When you work out even though you're tired, that's love. When you study even though you want to watch TV, that's love. When you wake up early even though you want to sleep in, that's love. You're choosing your future self over your present feelings. You're investing in who you're becoming instead of who you are right now. That's the highest form of self-love that exists. But nobody wants to hear this. Everyone wants the easy way. Everyone wants the shortcut. Everyone wants to feel good all the time and still get the results. And that's why everyone is stuck. That's why everyone is frustrated. That's why everyone is looking at their life, wondering why nothing is changing. Nothing is changing because you're not changing. You're still the same person making the same choices based on the same feelings. You want different results, but you're not willing to become a different person. Let me ask you something. Who do you want to be? Not what do you want to have. Who do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be someone who keeps their word? Do you want to be someone who finishes what they start? Do you want to be someone who shows up even when it's hard? Do you want to be someone who can be counted on? Do you want to be someone who has control over their life? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you need to understand something. You don't become that person by accident. You don't become that person when you feel like it. You become that person through discipline, through doing the things you don't want to do, through showing up when you don't feel like it, through keeping promises to yourself even when it's hard. That's how you become that person. There is no other way. Right now you have two paths in front of you. One path is familiar. It's the path of feelings, the path of doing things when you're motivated, the path of starting and stopping, the path of comfort, the path of excuses, the path of staying exactly who you are right now. You know this path well. You've been walking it for years, and you know exactly where it leads. It leads to regret. It leads to unfulfilled potential. It leads to looking in the mirror 5 years from now and seeing the exact same person you are today. The other path is unknown. It's the path of discipline, the path of doing things regardless of how you feel, the path of finishing what you start, the path of discomfort, the path of no excuses, the path of becoming someone new. You don't know this path. It's scary. It's hard. It requires you to change everything about how you operate. But let me tell you where this path leads. It leads to self-respect. It leads to confidence. It leads to achieving things you never thought possible. It leads to looking in the mirror and being proud of who you see. Which path are you going to choose? And I need you to understand something about this choice. You're making it right now. You're not making it tomorrow. You're not making it next week. You're not making it on Monday. You're making it right now in this moment. What you do in the next 5 minutes will show you which path you're on. Are you going to close this and go back to scrolling? Are you going to make another excuse? Are you going to say you'll start tomorrow? Or are you going to get up right now and do something? Are you going to take one action toward becoming who you want to be? See, most people think change happens in some big dramatic moment. They think one day they'll wake up and feel different, and that's when they'll change their life. But that's not how it works. Change happens in the small decisions. Change happens when you choose discipline over feelings one time, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, and before you know it, you've built a completely different life. One small choice at a time. I want you to understand something about your brain. Your brain is incredibly powerful, but it's also incredibly simple in some ways. Your brain learns through repetition. Every time you do something, you're teaching your brain that this is who you are. Every time you hit snooze, you're teaching your brain that you're someone who hits snooze. Every time you skip the gym, you're teaching your brain that you're someone who skips the gym. Every time you choose comfort, you're teaching your brain that you're someone who chooses comfort. But here's the good news. It works the other way too. Every time you get up when the alarm goes off, you're teaching your brain that you're someone who gets up. Every time you go to the gym, you're teaching your brain that you're someone who goes to the gym. Every time you choose discipline, you're teaching your brain that you're someone who chooses discipline. And after enough repetitions, it becomes automatic. It becomes who you are. It becomes your identity. This is why the first few times are so hard. You're fighting against all the previous repetitions. You're fighting against the old identity. But if you keep going, if you keep choosing discipline over feelings, eventually the scale tips. Eventually it becomes easier to do the disciplined thing than to not do it. Eventually you become someone who just does the work, not because you feel like it, but because that's who you are. Think about the people you admire. Think about the people who have accomplished great things. Do you think they felt like doing the work every single day? Do you think they never wanted to quit? Do you think they never got tired or frustrated or discouraged? Of course they did. They felt all of those things, but they did the work anyway. They showed up anyway. They kept going anyway. That's the only difference between them and everyone else. They didn't let their feelings stop them. And here's something nobody tells you. The feelings don't go away. Even after you've built discipline, even after you've achieved success, there will still be days when you don't feel like doing the work. There will still be days when you're tired. There will still be days when you want to quit. But by that point, you'll have built such a strong foundation of discipline that those feelings don't control you anymore. You acknowledge them, and then you do the work anyway. That's mastery. That's freedom. Real freedom isn't doing whatever you feel like doing whenever you feel like doing it. That's slavery to your emotions. Real freedom is having control over your actions regardless of your emotions. Real freedom is being able to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Real freedom is being the same person on your worst day that you are on your best day. That's power. That's strength. That's discipline. I need you to stop waiting. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for Monday. Stop waiting for the new year. Stop waiting for your life to be less busy. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for a sign. The sign is this. The sign is that you're still breathing. The sign is that you have another day. The sign is that it's not too late. The sign is right now. You know what you need to do. You've always known. You don't need more information. You don't need another video. You don't need another book. You don't need another podcast. You need to take action. You need to stop consuming and start creating. You need to stop learning and start doing. You need to stop thinking and start moving. The knowledge is useless without execution. The motivation is useless without action. The inspiration is useless without implementation. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick one thing. Just one thing that you know you should be doing, but you're not doing. Maybe it's working out. Maybe it's studying. Maybe it's working on your business. Maybe it's eating better. Maybe it's waking up earlier. Maybe it's going to bed earlier. Pick one thing. And I want you to commit to doing that one thing every single day for the next 30 days. No excuses. No exceptions. No negotiating with yourself. Just do it. And here's the key. I want you to do it, especially on the days you don't feel like it. Those are the most important days. Those are the days that build character. Those are the days that prove to yourself that you're serious. Anyone can do something when they feel motivated. That takes no strength. But doing something when you feel terrible, when you're tired, when you'd rather do anything else, that's when you build real discipline. That's when you become someone different. You're going to want to quit. I'm telling you this right now so you're prepared. Somewhere around day 3 or 4 or 5, you're going to feel resistance like you've never felt before. You're going to have a million reasons why you should stop. You're going to negotiate with yourself. You're going to tell yourself you'll start over next week. You're going to tell yourself that missing one day isn't a big deal. Don't listen to any of it. That's just your old self trying to stay in control. That's your feelings trying to take back the driver's seat. Don't let them. When you feel that resistance, when you hear all those excuses, I want you to remember this moment. I want you to remember why you started. I want you to remember who you want to become. And then I want you to do the thing anyway. Don't think about it. Don't debate it. Don't negotiate. Just do it. 5 seconds. That's all you need. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move, before your brain can stop you, before your feelings can talk you out of it. Just move. And after you do it, after you push through that resistance and do the thing you didn't want to do, pay attention to how you feel. You're going to feel proud. You're going to feel strong. You're going to feel capable. Not because the task itself was so important, but because you proved to yourself that you can overcome your feelings. You proved to yourself that you're in control. You proved to yourself that you're becoming someone different. That feeling right there, that's the real motivation. That's the fuel that keeps you going. Not the motivation before you do the work, but the satisfaction after you've done it despite not wanting to. This is what builds self-confidence. Not affirmations, not positive thinking, not fake it till you make it. Real confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. Real confidence comes from doing hard things. Real confidence comes from proving to yourself over and over again that you're capable of more than you thought. Every time you choose discipline over feelings, you're making a deposit in your self-confidence bank. And eventually, you'll have so much self-confidence that nothing can shake you. People are going to notice. They're going to ask you what changed. They're going to ask you how you did it. They're going to tell you they want to change too. And here's what you need to understand. You can't give them discipline. You can't make them change. They have to decide for themselves, just like you did. All you can do is show them what's possible. All you can do is be living proof that it works. All you can do is be the example. But here's what will happen. Most of the people who say they want to change won't actually do it. They'll make excuses. They'll say they're too busy. They'll say they'll start Monday. They'll say it's too hard. They'll say they're not like you. And you know what? Let them. This isn't about them. This is about you. This is about who you're becoming. This is about building a life you're proud of. You can't want it more for them than they want it for themselves. Focus on your own transformation. And transformation is exactly what this is. You're not just changing your habits. You're not just changing your routine. You're changing your identity. You're changing who you are at the core. You're becoming someone who does what needs to be done regardless of how they feel. You're becoming someone who keeps their word. You're becoming someone who finishes what they start. You're becoming someone who has control over their life. That's worth fighting for. That's worth suffering for. That's worth every uncomfortable moment. I want to talk about suffering for a second because I think we have it all wrong. We've been taught that suffering is bad. We've been taught to avoid pain at all costs. We've been taught that if something is hard, we should find an easier way. But what if suffering is the whole point? What if the discomfort is where the growth happens? What if avoiding pain is actually avoiding growth? Think about working out. Your muscles don't grow when you're lifting the weight. They grow when you're recovering from the damage you caused by lifting the weight. The pain is the signal that growth is coming. The discomfort is necessary. Without it, nothing changes. It's the same with everything in life. Without discomfort, without challenge, without suffering, there is no growth. So when you feel uncomfortable because you're waking up early or eating clean or working hard, that's not a sign that something is wrong. That's a sign that something is right. That's a sign that you're growing. That's a sign that you're changing. Embrace the discomfort. Stop trying to avoid it. Stop looking for the easy way. The easy way keeps you weak. The hard way makes you strong. The easy way keeps you the same. The hard way transforms you. The easy way is crowded with people going nowhere. The hard way is empty because most people quit. But the ones who stay on the hard way, they become unstoppable. Here's a truth that's going to make you uncomfortable. You're capable of so much more than you're doing right now. You know it. Deep down, you know it. You have potential inside you that you haven't even touched. You have strength you haven't used. You have talent you haven't developed. You have time you're wasting. And every day that you choose feelings over discipline, every day that you choose comfort over growth, every day that you choose excuses over action, you're letting that potential die. You're letting that person you could become fade away. That should make you angry. That should light a fire inside you. That should make you want to get up right now and do something about it. Because time is passing. Every single day that goes by is a day you're never getting back. Every single moment you spend on your phone is a moment you could have spent building something. Every single hour you spend watching TV is an hour you could have spent working toward your goals. Time doesn't care about your feelings. Time doesn't wait for you to feel motivated. Time just keeps moving. And one day you're going to be old. One day you're going to look back on your life. And the question is, what are you going to see? Are you going to see someone who did everything they could? Someone who pushed themselves? Someone who didn't let fear or feelings or excuses hold them back? Or are you going to see someone who played it safe? Someone who stayed comfortable? Someone who always talked about what they were going to do but never actually did it? That future version of you is watching you right now. They're watching the choices you're making. They're watching whether you're going to do the work or make another excuse. They're watching whether you're going to choose discipline or feelings. What do you want them to see? What do you want to be able to tell them when you meet them? I did everything I could, or I wish I had tried harder. The beautiful thing about discipline is that it's available to everyone. You don't need money. You don't need connections. You don't need a degree. You don't need permission. You don't need special circumstances. All you need is the decision to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. That's it. That's the whole game. Can you do the thing even when you don't feel like it? Can you show up even when it's hard? Can you keep going even when you want to quit? If you can answer yes to those questions, if you can actually live that way, there is nothing you can't accomplish. Nothing. The limits you think you have are just stories you've been telling yourself. The barriers you think exist are just in your mind. The reasons you think you can't are just excuses. None of it is real. The only real limitation is your willingness to be disciplined. That's it. Everything else is negotiable. So stop negotiating with yourself. Stop making deals. Stop saying you'll do it later. Stop saying you'll start Monday. Stop saying you're too tired. Stop saying you're too busy. Stop saying you're not ready. All of those are just different versions of the same thing. They're all just your feelings, trying to stay in control. They're all just your old self trying to keep you comfortable. They're all just resistance trying to stop you from becoming who you're meant to be. You need to get violent with mediocrity. You need to get aggressive with comfort. You need to declare war on every excuse you've ever made. You need to burn the bridge back to your old life. You need to make it impossible to go back to who you were. How do you do that? By taking action right now. By doing the thing you've been putting off. By starting before you're ready. By moving before you have all the answers. By committing fully to becoming someone different. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it's going to be easy. It's not. It's going to be hard. Really hard. There are going to be days when you want to quit. Days when you question whether it's worth it. Days when you don't see any progress. Days when everything seems to be going wrong. Those days are coming. I guarantee it. But here's what I also guarantee. If you push through those days, if you keep showing up even when you don't see results, if you trust the process and stay disciplined, you will transform your life. You will become someone you're proud of. You will achieve things you never thought possible. But you have to start. You have to take that first step. You have to make that first choice to pick discipline over feelings. And then you have to make that choice again tomorrow, and again the day after that, and again and again and again until it becomes who you are. Until discipline isn't something you do, it's something you are. Until showing up isn't a choice, it's automatic. Until doing the work isn't hard, it's just what you do. That's the goal. That's the target. Not motivation, not inspiration, not feelings. Discipline. Becoming someone who just does what needs to be done. Becoming someone who keeps their word. Becoming someone who finishes what they start. Becoming someone who shows up That's the person you're building, one choice at a time, one day at a time, one action at a time. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep living based on your feelings? Are you going to keep making excuses? Are you going to keep starting and stopping? Are you going to keep waiting for the perfect time? Or are you going to choose discipline? Are you going to choose to become someone different? Are you going to choose to build the life you actually want instead of settling for the life you have? The choice is yours. It's always been yours. Nobody else can make it for you. Nobody else can do the work for you. Nobody else can save you. This is on you. Your life is your responsibility. Your happiness is your responsibility. Your success is your responsibility. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission. Stop waiting for circumstances to be perfect. Stop waiting for anything. Start right now. No feelings, just discipline. That's the formula. That's the secret. That's what separates the people who make it from the people who don't. It's not complicated. It's not easy. But it's simple. Do the work when you don't feel like it. Show up when you want to quit. Keep going when it gets hard. That's it. That's discipline. And discipline is everything. Discipline is the foundation of every single thing you want in life. Build it. Protect it. Live it. Your old life is over. The person you used to be is done. Starting right now, you're someone new. Someone who chooses discipline. Someone who does what needs to be done. Someone who keeps their promises. Someone who finishes what they start. Someone who shows up. That's who you are now. Not because you feel like it, but because you decided. And once you make that decision, once you truly commit, nothing can stop you. Nothing.